Hello, I'm Rachel Endacott. I'm a Opogo community expert for SEN, and I'm here today to talk you through some tips that I find useful in managing behaviours that are challenging in the classroom. Tip number 1 is about building relationships. You need to remember that every pupil that comes into your setting, your classroom, is a human, and you need to treat them in the same way, with respect. Find out what their interests might be, find out what they did at the weekend or what their hobbies are. Make no judgments. Some of those students are going through some very, very difficult things at home. It's important to remember that every single behaviour is about communication. Tip number 2 is about putting policy into practice. Whether you're at a school and you're new or whether you're just in there for a few days, find out what the policy is for behaviour. Find out what the rewards and consequences the school have are and follow them. Find out the hierarchy of who you send children to or how you reward them. It's really important as well when you're in your setting just to give really quick praise. Verbal praise, perhaps points for the class to gain rewards, and maybe just something that you can do to send home to tell the parents how great their child has been. Tip number 3 is to be consistent. It's really important that you leave your own emotions at the door when you go into the school or setting. Make sure that every day you have the same policies that are in place and deliver them in the same way for every pupil. It's really important you keep your language to a minimal, your body contact short, and your eye contact really good. It depends on each pupil, but actually for me, in my experience, sitting each child down, giving them time to listen and respond really does help. And finally, tip number 4 is your continuing professional development. There are so many reasons these days for the behaviours that we see in class. Understanding each one of those behaviours is key. Perhaps some of you might like to go on face-to-face training, which these days is very expensive, and some of you might search for things online to help you read around the subject areas and the reasons behind the behaviours. But in my experience, talking to other staff and having a debrief about a situation that has just occurred is really, really useful. I find that when you work out that you have done something and it went well or it didn't go so well, reflecting on that and working out what you could do next is really important. To see more content like this, please browse through the other content we have at Opogo.